Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, your alarm screaming into the dark. You pull yourself out of bed and look in the mirror, only to see a distended stomach, a puffy face, and a heaviness you can't explain, even though you haven't eaten a single thing for 12 hours. By every logical metric, your body should be burning fat through the night. But it isn't. You could eat clean, train hard at the gym until your muscles burn, push through cardio on pure willpower, and your biology will still choose to store fat instead of releasing it. This frustration has nothing to do with your calories, your genetics, or your discipline. It's driven by a single, dominant biological villain in your bloodstream, hyperinsulinemia, the chronic elevation of a hormone called insulin. Your stubborn belly fat isn't ignoring your willpower, it's simply listening to your insulin levels, and the mainstream fitness world will never tell you that. Because confusion keeps you buying memberships and meal plans that are chemically doomed to fail. Today, I'm going to show you the exact sequence that reprograms this system, so your body shifts into deep fat oxidation every single second you're asleep. To understand how to manipulate this system, we have to go back in time. For most of human history, the rapid release of insulin was a survival mechanism, signaling the liver to store any extra energy as fat for the lean times ahead. Your biology hasn't updated since, but your environment has changed completely. There are no famines anymore. Just late-night screens, deadlines, and processed carbohydrates available around the clock. Insulin still behaves like an aggressive bouncer, standing at the door of your fat cells. While it's present in your bloodstream, it locks the gates shut and blocks a process called lipolysis, the exact pathway your body uses to break down stored fat for energy. If insulin is elevated, even slightly, lipolysis shuts down completely, and your body is chemically blocked from burning fat. This changes everything about how we think about weight loss. Because fat loss is never a battle of willpower, it's a negotiation with your biology. Trying to lose weight without managing your evening insulin is like driving with the emergency brake on. You can press the gas all you want, but you won't actually move. So how do we hack this primitive system to unlock fat burning while we sleep? Let's break this down into 5 pillars. The first pillar is what I call the 3-hour terminal dinner gap. Most people finish a stressful day, sit down on the couch, and eat a heavy dinner right before bed. This sends a glucose surge through the bloodstream, forcing the pancreas to flood it with insulin right as you're falling asleep. That means, for the first several hours of your sleep cycle, your body stays trapped in a fed state, pushing energy into fat storage instead of burning it, right when it should be burning the most. The fix isn't eating less. It's giving your body a strict 3-hour window of fasting before bed. So glucose clears and insulin drops back to baseline before you ever close your eyes. A finished dinner means metabolic freedom. The second pillar is evening carbohydrate inversion. Most people eat a light breakfast, a moderate lunch, and then load their dinner plate with the heaviest carbohydrates of the day. Rice, pasta, bread, these break down quickly into sugar, flooding the bloodstream and demanding a large, prolonged insulin release that keeps the gates of fat burning locked long past midnight. The fix is to flip the order. Eat your complex carbohydrates during the day, when your body can actually use them, and make your final meal dense in protein, healthy fats, and fibrous vegetables instead. When you feed your body protein and fiber at night, your glucose curve stays flat. Your pancreas barely needs to release insulin, and your body can shift from burning sugar to burning fat within an hour of finishing your meal. The third pillar is protecting your human growth hormone window. During the first 90 minutes of deep sleep, your pituitary gland releases a natural surge of growth hormone, a hormone built to repair tissue and accelerate fat burning. But growth hormone and insulin sit on opposite ends of a biological seesaw. If insulin is high, it directly suppresses that growth hormone release. Eating sugar or starch before bed quietly turns off your body's primary nightly fat-burning engine. The fix is making sure your bloodstream is clear of insulin heading into sleep, so that natural surge can do its work uninterrupted, mobilizing fat from your tissues at a rate you simply can't match during the day. The fourth pillar is ending the late-night cortisol cycle. When you cut your sleep short, your nervous system reads it as an emergency and floods your system with cortisol, the primary stress hormone. Cortisol forces your liver to dump stored sugar back into your blood, which triggers a secondary insulin spike, even if you haven't eaten anything at all. This is exactly why some people swear they're doing everything right and still aren't losing weight. A single night of poor sleep can blunt how well your cells respond to insulin the next day, meaning your body has to work much harder to process the same food. The fix is a sleep routine that keeps cortisol low before bed. signaling safety to your nervous system instead of emergency. The fifth and final pillar is eliminating hidden liquid insulin spikes. Many people eat perfectly all day, then unwind with a sweetened tea, a flavored water, or a casual drink at night, thinking it's harmless. Liquid sugars bypass digestion almost entirely, hitting your bloodstream within minutes and triggering a sharp insulin spike right before sleep. Alcohol is just as disruptive, forcing your liver to stop burning fat so it can clear the alcohol first. The fix is sticking to water, herbal tea, or electrolytes with a splash of lemon in the evening, keeping your insulin-producing cells quiet and your digestive system at rest. Now, before you rush to apply all 5 of these pillars tonight, hear this warning, because this is exactly where people sabotage themselves. When people hear about cutting evening insulin, they often decide to skip dinner entirely and lean on black coffee or energy drinks to suppress their hunger instead. This backfires badly, because those drinks spike cortisol and adrenaline, forcing your liver to dump stored sugar into your blood and driving insulin right back up, undoing everything you were trying to accomplish. The rule here is non-negotiable. Never starve yourself, and never flood your system with stimulants in the evening. If hunger hits before bed, reach for a small, pure protein or fat source instead. A handful of almonds, a single egg, something that stabilizes blood sugar without triggering an insulin avalanche. Let's stack all of this into one simple evening schedule, so there's no guesswork left. At 6:30, eat your final meal. Something low glycemic and protein dense. Think fish, grass-fed beef, or fibrous greens. At 7:30, close the kitchen for the night, sending a clear signal that the eating part of your day is over. At 9:30, dim the lights and shift to warm lighting, letting melatonin rise naturally while keeping cortisol suppressed. At 10:30, go to sleep with insulin sitting at baseline, unlocking fat burning for the rest of the night. None of this is about counting calories. It's about sending the right biological signals, telling your liver to stop storing, your pancreas to stop secreting insulin, and your cells to start burning fat through the night. Stack these signals consistently, night after night, and the transformation stops being something you have to fight for. It becomes automatic. Here's roughly what to expect when you stick with it. By tomorrow morning, a flatter stomach, less puffiness, and a noticeable lift in energy. Within a few days, your cravings for sugar and refined carbs start fading as your blood sugar stabilizes. Within a couple of weeks, a visible drop in stubborn belly fat, and your clothes start fitting differently. Stay consistent for a couple of months, and your body becomes dramatically more efficient at processing food. No afternoon crash, no fighting cravings by mid-afternoon, and you naturally end up eating less without ever trying to. Fat loss stops being a miserable daily goal and becomes the side effect of a system that's finally back in balance. Before we close this out, I want to hear from you. Comment below and tell me which of these pillars you're trying first, or which mechanism surprised you the most. I read every comment I can, and if this was genuinely useful, hit like. It tells the algorithm to put this in front of more people who need it. Most people spend every single day fighting their own physiology, because the fitness industry sells suffering, not solutions. And suffering sells memberships and shakes. But that advice only treats the smoke, while ignoring the fire underneath. Burning stubborn fat has never been a battle of willpower. It's a respectful negotiation with biology that's been doing its job for thousands of years. Your body isn't broken. And it isn't your enemy. It's just been given the wrong signal at the wrong time. Tonight, you have the tools to change that signal. Tomorrow morning, when your alarm goes off, you get to rewrite that entire scene completely. You're no longer playing this on hard mode. You're letting the night shift finally do its job. If this breakdown genuinely resonated with you, and you're tired of surface-level advice, subscribe so you catch the next one. Hit like. It tells the platform this is exactly the kind of content you want more of. Comment below and tell me how long you've personally been struggling with stubborn fat. Share the real version of your story. And finally, share this with one person in your life who's tried every diet, worked out until exhaustion, and still been told they just need more willpower.